Tell me you saw Deadpool Wolverine again
I
on
didn't.
3D.
I didn't. I'm saddened
Fine.
by it too.
I mean, you still can see it. It's still playing. It's only been out for 2 weeks.
No, I do want to go see it. I just couldn't get around to it.
Yeah, well, I'm going to see it for the 5th time this week, especially since I saw Borderlands and I wish I saw Deadpool Wolverine instead. That movie was so bad. It was totally made for streaming.
And even at that, would it have been worth it?
Nope.
Shame.
CGI was bad. Kevin Hart, Jamie Lee Curtis, Kate Blanchett. It seemed like they owed favors. I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis, she was great in the role that she played in the sense of the nerdy scientist. But Kevin Hart, I couldn't believe him as a badass military guy. And well, Kate Blanchett is a great actress, but this role didn't seem like
It didn't seem to fit. Now,
No,
granted,
I
I never
mean-
played the game, so I couldn't even tell you how accurate they would have been.
Now, by the time of this recording, it has been announced that Robert Downey Jr. is going to be playing Doctor Doom soon in the MCU.
True.
But that being said, the memes came out almost immediately in reference to Tropic Thunder.
I'm the dude playing the dude pretending to be another dude.
Another dude. Right. That came out. So I said, you know what? We got to review Tropic Thunder, which is one of my favorite comedies of all time. It's right up there. It's like one of the Mount Rushmores of comedy films.
Mm-hmm.
This movie came out in 2008. On Rotten Tomatoes, it is scored at 82% by the critics and 71% by the audience.
So what you mean, you people? What you mean, you people?
Welcome back to Tales of Two Bros. My name is Angel,
I'm Adon.
where we give you a review at least once a week. Spoiler alert. I own this on DVD. I own this on Blu-ray, excuse me.
Mhm.
It's packed with features. Let's be honest, it's a love letter to war films.
Mm-hmm.
But they made a mockumentary, kind of like Spinal Tap in the sense of how they did like a rock and roll band. They made a film, Far From Madness. I think that's what it's called. They film it and they're playing the characters, but behind the scenes aspect, which is really cool. Where like Robert Downey's character,
Kirk Lazarus.
he has PTSD and he's going crazy. He's having a flashback and like the family that he adopted. And have you seen that one?
No, I didn't watch that special. No.
Oh man, you gotta watch it because, like I said, it's a movie in itself. But we have here like great performances by, of course, Robert Downey Jr., Jack Black, Tom Cruise, Danny McBride, Nick Nolte, Steve Coogan, the director, and then you have
Matthew McConaughey.
even though I've seen it so many times, he seems so out of place in this movie for some reason to me. Maybe because it's a comedy and he's more of a serious actor. Yes, he has done other comedy roles before in other films. For some reason, he still felt out of place.
I mean, you could say the same thing about Tom Cruise, arguably one of the best characters.
Oh, yes. Definitely the best character. And you also have Jay Baruchel.
How to Train Your Dragon. Also,
How to Train Your Dragon, yes.
Goon, This Is the End, and Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Right.
For me, I'll recognize more from that.
Also, you have here Bill Hader,
Mm-hmm.
Brandon T. Jackson playing Al Pacino, which I think was a play on like Florida, because Florida, if you say his name correctly, it's just Florida.
Yeah.
Al Pacino's a play on Al Pacino.
Mm-hmm.
So this movie holds up. Even though this came out almost 20 years ago, 4 years shy of 20 years, this movie still holds up. It still cracks me up. Robert Downey Jr., every time he's on, he steals the show. And right behind him is Jack Black. It's like one of the two. Jack Black just freaking steals it every time. Even Danny McBride, when he's in it, when he's about to blow shit up, he's like stealing the show. And then you have, of course, Tom Cruise. Mm-hmm. So it was like Ben Stiller, who co-wrote, and directed and starred. He's like the straight man. And besides him, Jay, who played Kevin Stadinsky, he's the more straight man because he's like the level-headed one. Everyone's like, has their issues. He's like, dude, I just want to act. That's all I want to do.
Yeah.
To go over like some of the influence, you have Platoon. Obviously, you have Platoon because of what's happening with a scene when Ben Stiller is like being shot, his hands rise up. William Dafoe does that in Platoon. You also have here like Deer Hunter.
Yeah.
In the sense of where the memories goes lost. Even though it's kind of funny because it's only a couple days since they've been there.
Mm-hmm.
But he has all of this mind wipe. Did you see any other influences? Because there's several.
The one with when they go into Ben Stiller's tent. And he has a little half squat there. I love the smell of napalm in the morning. That's
Apocalypse Now.
Apocalypse Now. That's the Apocalypse Now moment where they meet Marlon Brando.
Yes.
Exactly.
Marlon Brando, but yeah. Not now, but.
Listen, you make mistakes all the time. Uh,
Very true. Very no, like I said, so it's like yes, all these well-known military war films. Yes, I mean, as I was seeing it, I recognize what they're doing, but right now I'm just blanking out on some other ones because there are a lot of other ones.
true.
Again, it's a love letter done in a comedic way.
Also, when you think about it, like if you itemize each individual character, they granted they're poking fun of those archetypes of those characters, but like it's
Mhm.
kind of a tribute to like Jack Black's character. Arguably, is like the whole Eddie
Oh,
Murphy stage of like,
yes, there you go.
you know,
Exactly in the
Meet the
beginning of in the
Clumps.
well, Nutty Professor,
Yeah, but they also had a
pretty
spin-off
much.
movie on that too. But yeah,
Correct. But you have like the Nutty Professor parody or the connection. Well, like I said, with Fluoride at Al Pacino,
hmm
the drinks and the
Robert Downey
rapping,
Jr. was supposed to be like to me he was like the Russell Crowe.
or
Like if Christian
Daniel Day
Bale,
Lewis.
Daniel Day Lewis, okay, because I was
Yes.
thinking like Christian Bale, and Russell Crowe had a love child. That would have been that guy.
Well, true, but I'm just saying, like these you know,
Method
these
actors.
method actors who don't give up character until the commentary on the DVD,
hmm
right? Like he said, but they're like so good at their craft. And
Yes.
Daniel Day Lewis is one of them. But you had that thing with him and Toby Maguire having that little forbidden love affair as priests or monks.
Yeah, Devil's Alley.
And right. But it was great. And I remember watching in the movie theater, I was like, what is this? Why are they having previews to
So
this movie? And so I was like,
I
oh,
forgot about
it's part of
I
the,
forgot about the previews because when I started the
yeah,
movie, I'm like trailers, and then it took me
right,
like in a second. I'm like, oh my god, I forgot about this.
right. And I think that the Scorcher franchise that Ben Stiller was doing is more like to me it felt like Die Hard. They're
I can
making a
get that.
poke of that, like in the sense like this is
hmm
they just knock out the movies and they just keep repeating them and the premise is always the same
hmm
and then they just try to change it up at one movie. So the parody or the making fun of was there. Or not just Die Hard, but other like Terminator. Again, same things where these franchises they just roll it out and they just regurgitate the same thing. Okay, we can agree Robert Downey stole the show, right? Playing a dude, disguised as dude, playing another dude. He was awesome. Is it blackface? Yes. Should it
hmm
be done today? Possibly not. Should it be done today? Hell yeah.
In the interview with Joe Rogan that I did see afterwards,
Mhm,
he got asked that question. He's like, it could be done. Should it be done? That's a different story. Or can
mhm.
better yet, can you get away with it? And he's like, he asked like his many of his friends. He's like 9 out of 10 of them were like pretty okay with it.
No, because it's funny because it's like what he does here in this role is stereotypical, yes,
Yeah,
but it's not wrong and it's not done in a derogatory way.
I
Not
mean,
one did he say the N word.
true, and I can see why because the Al Pacino character is like a foil to every time he does something that could be
Calls him out on
conceived
it.
as he calls him out on it. He really
Right.
does. And then there's like it checks him right back up until the point he goes, it's like Crocodile Dundee. He's like, that man's a natural hero. It's like, I didn't go eat your baby. He's like, you're about to step across the line. He goes full Australian, still in accent.
Is that the scene right after that? They hug. He
He's like,
starts
that's the theme
quoting the
song from.
Jefferson.
He doesn't make it any less true.
And this is the way he does. And like some of the scenes, like in the back, like if you see him in the background, like when the director got blown up,
Yeah, and oh, and
like when he gets blown up, you see him in the background, he goes like he puts his hands
oh,
up
what about when
like Jim Kelly.
Tug Speedman's like hanging the head, and he's like, sorry for
No,
hitting
you're
that.
doing exactly right. Or like there was a time where they threw like a ration at him or something like that. And he blocked it.
Yeah,
Like, everything he did was kind of like what they used to do in the black exploitation films back in the day.
kind of.
You
Yeah,
know, like all the kung fu, the Black Belt Jones, and all that stuff. It was just so funny, and that oh my god, it was just so good. And then you have Jack Black. He plays a child star grown up,
yeah.
right? And so he
That's
has
the other
that
foil he
limelight,
plays as. Yeah,
and the drugs and all this stuff. And what he says as he's going through withdrawal or trying to
he's like, if you untie me, I'm not gonna repeat it. he gets very detailed, and like he's doing the
Yes.
facial mannerisms and everything.
Yeah.
The part where he lost his Skittles because of the bat, he's like, "Yo, need!" He bites the bat's head off.
Was it Skittles or gummies?
I thought he said Skittles.
Oh, the part when Kevin pops up from behind him, he's about to take some, and he just spills it all over.
Yes.
He's like, "Shit!"
I have to say though, when I remember watching this the first time and rewatching it, I still crack up watching Tom Cruise. He's like, I must have larger hands.
Like, but that was his whole thing. Like, he wants to dance, says my character has to dance, and I have to have fat hands.
Yeah, which great job for the prosthetics, first of all, because
Right.
they look like natural hands, abnormally large hands. But then he's like talking Matthew McConaughey into letting his star get sell out by the terrorist group, cussing out the flaming dragon.
Yeah.
Who are you?
The flaming
Flaming dragon.
That kid was good. You have to admit, he was good. The little leader.
The three main actors for the Flaming Dragon group. Yeah. I would say they were
But
great.
I remember though, and here's a little faux pas, the right hand man for the leader.
Yeah.
He's on the one on the phone, right? He's also gets knocked out by Jack Black.
Okay.
By the poppy seeds, by the opium. But then he's out there fighting Al Pacino and the other guys right away. He's supposed to be knocked out, like being asleep for like 16 hours, as Jack Black's character said.
Okay.
But he's back out on the field. So it was like, wait a minute, huh?
I didn't know.
It is kind of quick, but it happens. Unless I'm being racist and insinuating they all look alike. That's pretty racist of me. There's so many good ass moments and scenes. It's so hard for me to really pinpoint. You have the point where Kevin, played by Jay, that he's trying to get the guys to leave, and there's that Deer Hunter moment where Ben Stiller and Robert Downey is having that, I'm the dude playing the dude disguised as another dude, blah, blah, blah. And the guy just drops, and he's like going through all the major characters he played, Muir Armstrong, the Father O'Malley, and other stuff. And the guy says, all right, this guy's gone. Okay, screw it. He's like, and then Robert Downey's ability to do accents is so good, because in Natural Born Killers, he played an Australian tabloid reporter. And his accent was similar to what he did here. And it was just so good. Mother Nature just shit his pants from Danny McBride's character. And then everything that Tom Cruise says, a monkey can do your job.
Brendan Soho, the leader of the camp, it's like, you play Simple Jack. You put this in your mouth. Make it more realistic. He takes out the other guy's dentures.
Never go roll retard. Never go.
I am Sam.
And, I am Sam. Sean Penn, one full retard. Never got home, never got the Oscar. Dustin Hoffman, autistic, possibly retard, but not full retard.
Forrest Gump. He goes through the logic.
I know.
Because of the captain. I killed the thing I love most in life. He's like, oh, you killed a hooker. He's like, don't worry. It's like Ben. Like he talks about Ben Affleck. He goes, I was like, what you need is like a lime and all this other stuff. He goes, no, I killed a panda. He goes, a panda. He has the panda head.
He's wearing it. And that just happened, like I said, like the way he went in that sense. And you think it could be weeks, but it's just a matter of hours.
Yeah.
That he totally flips and loses it. Such a tough guy can't really handle the real world, or he can't really handle what his characters play.
Yeah.
Where you have Jay, who's just learning, and he has some experience, and he knows how to read a map. He knows how to do this.
He went to the boot camp that the actors.
Right. He's the only one that did. Yes, he's the only one that did go to the boot camp, where everyone else was just like too busy or too proud, if you will.
Yeah.
God damn, there's so many great moments here.
There has to be someone special for you when you get back. Yeah, there is. What's her name? Lance.
Lance. What? I said Nance.
He's like, it's okay. Everybody has gay thoughts every now and then. Like everybody's backpedaling. And then, of course, Jack Black chimes in.
With his innuendos.
Yes. There's a lot of good moments. A lot of like
way too much good moments.
And we've talked about this where like certain parodies, certain comedies, and we mentioned this earlier, like if they did it now, it'll be harder to pull off. Although Deadpool Wolverine shows that humor's still there and people will still want that humor. and I can argue that.
Well, yeah, I think it's because everyone since there's been so much woke movement or Me Too that came out as well, that it's starting to recycle back to
The crude humor.
right or without the filters.
Yeah.
Just say what's on your mind, or pushing the envelope.
I
This
say,
one, it pushed the envelope in many ways, in a different way, not so much like Deadpool and Wolverine. They pushed envelope in a lot of ways.
true.
This movie pushed envelope in a different way, different manner.
Yes.
I mean, the premise makes sense in the sense of why he went blackfaced.
Yeah.
And it's also a parody or a call out on how many, like so many roles have gone to white people
Yeah.
based on a true story, or say that originally the characters were created and say in novels or what have you, that they were black or they were Asian, but for the movie, they made it white. They've done that early film. Marlon Brando, who you mentioned earlier, played a Japanese guy.
Yeah.
And Mickey Rooney in Breakfast at Tiffany's played an Asian guy.
Yeah.
And like with the glasses and the buck teeth, I was like,
Well, that's what we're
holy
talking
shit.
about here is like that character in itself is just a parody of all that in history and then showing the ridiculousness of that in history.
Mhm.
And they're going to the extreme where they're saying his character literally got his pigmentation changed. It wasn't that he was
Right.
painting himself. He literally went through a surgery to get that all done.
Right. Even though it was kind of like, you can tell that was still like in the sense like the upper forehead and the bottom chin were real dark, but the face was a little still light. But yes, like how much they'll get an actor, a white actor, to take a role from a black person.
Yeah.
Good job of calling it out. I
Mhm.
find, in that sense, like, the ridiculousness of what Hollywood has done.
It's spot on. I dare say, like, comedies of this nature, even though they're rooted in like a lot of crude humor, a lot of vulgarity, a lot of, things that would offend a lot of other people.
Mhm.
And in some sense, this is high humor at the same time. Because if we can look beyond just the face value of it, you see the things that are behind it that started that
Mhm.
joke.
Blazing Saddles,
Yeah.
a great example to that.
Oh,
Blazing
lovely
Saddles,
example. Blazing Saddles is
yeah,
great.
right, exactly. And they call out some stuff that they throw into the face of Hollywood, of the hypocrisy and irony of what they do. You have a black guy playing the lead.
Mhm.
Back then, you will think, what?
Much less
Mel
playing the
Brooks,
sheriff of a town in a
right?
Western. Yeah.
Exactly. And Mel Brooks has screw that. This was going to happen. If there's a best scene you can pinpoint, what would that be?
Best scene. For me, the best scene, and we talked about it, the whole confrontation between Al Pacino and Robert Downey Jr.'s character,
Lazarus.
Chris Lazarus, yes.
No, Chris Kirk.
Kirk
Kirk.
Lazarus. The moment where they finally confront each other, and and then after all said and done, he's like, "I'm gonna sneak you one." He slaps him later on. So what's your favorite moment for you?
Kirk Lazarus
Mm-hmm.
infiltrating the camp as a Vietnamese,
Yes.
learning to say, but he does not lose the accent of
Mm.
the character. So it's like there's like another layer, another dude playing another dude, disguised as another dude playing another dude.
I
It
love
was like,
that part when he's doing that, and then he has to make up the lines beyond that, and he's talking about like, oh, it's like you've said rice patties, now you say poppy seeds. And he's like, oh, I dehydrated, need
yes,
electrolytes.
electrolytes.
and they're showing the subtitles, and it's like clearly him speaking English. That was really good. What farmer am I? He goes, I'm a lead farmer.
That's right. I'm sorry.
He does
I'm a lead farmer, motherfucker. And he just crossed the arms. But no, that's just great that he just, again, playing that, trying to pretend that he's Vietnamese, but he doesn't lose the accent. He has the black eye line makeup, just like Sho Kosugi does in Revenge of the Ninja movies. His ninja movies, Sho Kosugi has a black eye line makeup. I'm like, why?
And they put
But
makeup on to make his skin lighter.
Yes.
What's that called? I don't know what it's called. I just know the sound it makes when it takes a man's life.
Yeah, and then Danny McBride says, I don't know. I just know the sound that makes when a man lies. Trying to get him back. I mean, this oh god, this movie is so good. This is definitely worth the watch. It is definitely worth the own. The behind the scenes stuff is like so much.
Hmm.
I mean, there's behind the scenes where they're reading, they do a table reading and everyone's laughing every time when they're
Yeah,
talking, especially when Robert Downey goes in, because he goes in full character at the table read.
I believe it.
Like I said, that Into Madness, a movie within a movie. Do you agree that it's worth the own or worth the watch?
I agree. Yeah.
Do you own it?
I have the DVD, but my DVD is like in storage. So I went and watched it on Pluto. It takes away the
It
commercials.
does take a, yes, the commercials, the random commercial breaks.
Yes.
Yeah, 82% by the critics and 71% by the audience on Rotten Tomatoes. Who do you agree with?
Is higher for me. I would put it at
Yes.
like 93. I think it's one of the best comedies in the last 2 decades. To be honest, is like it's hilarious. I openly
Yes.
laugh. I
Mhm.
joke about this with my friends and colleagues that like I'll watch a lot of comedies, but I'm like that guy who just goes, "Huh, that's funny." If I'm watching by myself, I don't usually like openly laugh. I openly laugh watching this film.
Right.
And it has
Yes.
nothing but iconic memories, and it sticks with me. It's quotable. It's good
Mhm.
times. The soundtrack is fun.
Yes. I don't want to say it's Enya, but it has that little like when you put on the Blu-ray
I think it does have Enya
settings,
playing at one point.
but it has like that little solemn kind of music. It's
Yeah.
really good. But again, it's like it goes with the platoon death
Mhm.
shot scene. This movie needs to be in the Smithsonian, like in the sense of like one of the great movies
If
of
they
like the
decided to
collectors,
re-release it, like on another Blu-ray edition or like whatever,
like
I was
anniversary.
like an anniversary edition because they're getting close to it. It's almost 20 years. I
Right.
think it'll be worth a buy for that brand new edition. I really do.
Hmm.
What's your
So
rating?
like why I think it's in the 90s. Definitely, I will give it to like 95. And it says the retainment value in a sense, a rewatchable value.
Mhm.
It holds up. The comedy does push the boundaries, but doesn't go over the top because it's not vulgarity.
Yeah.
It's not overly violent. You have the director being blown up, and you see the head being carried, and that's kind of funny too. They're holding the head, and he's moving it, and the jaw is bouncing up and down.
It's just nothing but corn syrup, blood tasting corn syrup.
How come it feels like that aspect of filming a movie within a movie feels like something else that has been done before?
Well,
I don't.
they've done that in some other contexts. I can't
Mhm.
remember which ones right now, but I know that has
Yeah.
been done. I mean, they technically announced at the beginning of the film. They say this is technically a movie about the
Mhm.
men making another movie based on
Oh,
a story in the book.
Blair Witch Project.
The first
That
one?
was yes, that was guerrilla style, meaning that there was cameras all over the place, and these
Oh,
people, the three actors in that movie, were just shooting scenes, and they were given their motivation in the beginning of like in the morning, like the directors or writers said, "Listen, in the morning, come here, pick up this envelope that has your name on it. Don't let the others know, and this is your motivation for the day."
yeah.
And
Which
the
that movie came
cameras
out in 1999.
right, and the cameras were set in different places as well as the guys were shooting it. And I think it was a matter of what 3 5 days they shot that in the sense of the motivation and then what have you. So it's kind of like in that aspect here as well. Not this aspect of here, but in the sense of like they made a guerrilla style filming. Just let them put them out there, film their reactions,
I mean,
give
that
them
was
their
the intent.
motivation.
Yeah,
Right, right. But I'm saying that's how it was in Blair Witch Project.
it's a good time.
I know there's some, huh?
I said it's a good time.
No, it's a great time. When he attacks the bat, Jack Black, trying to get the drugs from the
Yeah,
blood. Oh. And for some reason, I don't know why that scene or those not that scene, but when he's tied up
yeah.
and then Lance comes out and all that stuff, right? The name of Lance. It reminded me of two things: the campfire scene from Three Amigos and Indiana Jones and Short Round playing cards. For some reason,
No idea why.
I don't either.
Maybe the lighting of
There's a
the fireplace, campfire, but yeah,
maybe
I did not get that. I thought
Larry
it was funny with the ox.
in the sense of which aspect.
They gain an ox, and the ox is like the first scene with the ox is Jack Black. He's like, I gotta wear his skin like a hide, and he's
Yeah.
like, and then they like somehow they befriend the ox and they use the ox to tow Jack Black around.
Right.
And then in that same campfire scene, you see the ox's head always around Kirk Lazarus. And like at one point, he's like caressing the nuzzle of the ox's face.
Oh, what I wanted to say is like, so this is like the second time that Ben Stiller and Tom Cruise worked together. They did a parody, an MTV parody.
Where Ben Stiller was parodying Tom Cruise himself for Mission Impossible.
Not really parodying, but he was playing the stunt double or one of the stunt doubles of Tom Cruise for Mission Impossible 2.
But he was saying like, you got to be like Tom in order to be a stuntman for Tom.
Right. Yeah, you have to dress like him. You got to sleep like him. You got to walk. He has the same laugh. He matches the same laugh of Tom Cruise, and they do look very similar in the sense of facial expressions. Oh, did you see the stunt Tom Cruise did at the Olympics? At the end of the Olympics?
Oh, not in the movie?
Not in the movie. I'm just talking about because the time of this review is the end of the Olympics and the closing ceremony. Tom Cruise jumps from the stadium down to the ground on a rope.
Like Mission Impossible style.
I don't know. It was crazy. I saw it on YouTube real quick. I got to watch it again to see if it was actually just rope or it was like another strap to him to help him come down. But regardless, guy is 62 years old.
And he's crazy as a 20-year-old, but I love him.
He's had a bad rap all his career, being with Scientology and some other accusations. But the guy knows how to make movies. He knows how to make things entertaining.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that is our throwback review of Tropic Thunder. Have you seen it? What was your favorite moment? Who's your favorite character? Let us know in the description below. And as always, follow us on Instagram. Until next time, we'll be the next time. I'm Angel.
I'm Adon.
Love you, bro.
Love you too.
Oh, yeah. Come on now.